All right, Cyber Traders, good morning and welcome on back here this Thursday, February 16th. Let me get my webcam up and running for all of us inside the live trading room at least. Hopefully I'm good to go there. I know I had some issues with my webcam back a couple days ago. Hopefully good to go, all of us on social media. I'm having this little issue right now. It's like a little setting thing I got to toggle. I thought I was good to go on the webcam. I'm tagging in for Fausto this morning. Just he's actually on the way to Jacksonville for our on-site class. I think he's doing a little vacation time, a little well-earned vacation time with his family. So, actually, I'm going to be tagging in for him today and tomorrow. I'll make sure I get my webcam up at least for tomorrow morning. Not as if I have a better mug to look at. So I will tell you, though, let me just get a quick banner up on YouTube right now, and we should be good to go right now, folks. So let me peel back the webcam there. My apologies on that. But without further ado, let's hop right into it. There's a lot to talk about this morning. Markets are pulling back, so that's something. But otherwise, INZY on the screen to begin. It's only up 26%. That means that, hey, we've seen a bunch of other runners in the past make a much larger pop here in pre-market, 50, 100, 200% more maybe. But, that means that for this stock, hey, there could be a lot more room here for this to run up once the market opens. I say once the market opens because clearly, as you could see the last 15 minutes, 10 minutes, it's been trending down off the highs, ended up topping off at resistance we had called out off of 290, and then from 3. It broke above 3, but essentially held within that range and then came back down. So going into the open, we just want to see more buying specifically off that 290 level and really off the VWAP there off 285. Should we get more and more buying off that area, we can get the better run up to 3 and hopefully the better run from there, like the new high off of 3. So, INZY, actually, I didn't even check the news on this stock. Let me just do that on Benzinga Pro here. It's not a stock I'm too familiar with, so I want to just check the news out on this stock here. So INZY trading higher after top line results. Phase 1/2 trials for whatever, disease they're treating ended up passing and having positive results, so to say. So, nice little move so far in pre-market. Hopefully there is more to it here. Now, though, just really quick housekeeping note for all of us inside the live trading room. Any of our students that have access to the Phase 2 curriculum, at least, we're going to be starting that today, coming up later on this morning at 10:35 Eastern Time. So, again, for any of our silver, gold, platinum, diamond students, so that'll be later on today. So we already posted the link there for you, but we'll make sure to repost it later on. But we'll be talking more about indicators and charting, more live market scenarios, at least here in this morning's class. We don't really do much indicators, mind you, right? Our whole MO is to follow the big money, but really it's the only class actually out of the entire series that there's even some conversation in relation to indicators. So, we're going to talk about that among other things too. Squeezes and bounces, highs and lows, like all-time highs and lows. What happens when there's no historical resistance or support even. So there's a lot to digest coming up within the Phase 2 classes today and tomorrow. So INZY, I'll put on our list to begin. What we'll do, though, just here is go from top to bottom. We'll just scan through. I want to talk about the GNS trade. That GNS from earlier this morning was wild. I do want to jump to that pretty quickly, so I'm sure we'll find that here coming up. TA, not technical analysis like indicators. Travel Centers of America. It's a buyout. We're going to move on from it. It's actually a big right now, but it's a buyout. It's flat. NEXI, it's a cheapie. Hey, normally not as accustomed to trading these stocks below $1 because they normally don't make as concise of a run up. But this is actually showing a pretty good pattern here. It's on the top of the gainers list. Hopefully more eyeballs can catch on to this trade perhaps. I wouldn't mind putting this on our list. I just want to see what else is out there first, though. This will be top of the side list here for right now. This NEXI definitely looks good. This AXLA, similar price, not looking as good. All right, so the INZY we already have on our list here, looking at least pretty active going into the open. Want to see that support build soon. CISO, this is kind of the theme of the day today. Otherwise, though, pop and drop. Ended up making this big spike at 8 o'clock, pulled right back down. This EBS, you could say the same thing, I reckon, off the after hours highs there, but this was more of a spotty, illiquid trade. I had this on the watch list just on the very back end. I put the others beforehand just because this wasn't really looking too good in terms of the order book and the liquidity behind it. Obviously it doesn't look good now. So I'm not as inclined to follow this when the market opens up. Could it pop? Yeah, I mean, it's on the gainers list. Again, like I said with the other one, maybe more eyeballs catch on to this trade later on. But I just want to see just an easier trade. Not as if any trade could be really easy, but just something relatively easier, something easier on the eyes to look at there. CYH even seemed to be said here. I mean, cheaper stock, but the order book is terrible here. There's nothing showing. If our whole MO is to follow the big money and there's no big money to follow, is it going to make a move? It's kind of like if a tree falls in the woods and there's no one there to hear it, does it make a sound? I mean, yes, I'm sure it could, but you know what I mean? I Yes. So it was saying that GRTX, nice little pop early this morning after 8:30, and even here, just going into the morning meeting. But pulling back down now, it's enough for me to be interested in this trade. This thing took a huge hit back yesterday. It was down, or 2 days ago. It was down like 65%, I think, one morning. So ended up taking a huge dive, and with that, could be a good trade here as a dead cat bounce. I don't mind putting this on our main list here. HEXO. I think this could be a pot stock. I think it is. There's some stuff out with the pot stocks just overnight. They're always such a tease. So until I see true direction, I have no interest in them. Twilio. I think Twilio had earnings overnight or from yesterday, had a big pop, pretty expensive stock. I was debating between this and the other more expensive stock on the gainer side this morning. Up over 8% right now, the ROKU trade. This is peeling back with the market here. I would assume for this to be the better trade of the two, like just in terms of tradability, liquidity, following the order book. It just trades more volume day to day. So I'd imagine, this could be a decent one at least. I'll slip this on our list for right now, the ROKU. We actually did pretty well on ROKU back at the end of December when the markets were bottoming out. From that point, this was like within our price range really at that time. So, we're actually more familiar with ROKU anyway. All right, where's this GNS? Oh, it's probably on the loser side now after what happened. That's right. All right, so we'll get to that at some point there. I do want to talk about GNS. It's on our pre-market watch list. Could still be worth watching. Stock I took a loss on to begin my morning, though. This sober trade had a nice pop after 8 o'clock, and it pulled back down fast. So, I thought there was a chance for this to build a little support, snap back up to 3, and then see where it can go. Maybe eke out 10 cents, 11, 12 cents. And just once I got in off 290 or 289, I realized it wasn't going anywhere. So ended up taking, it was a 4-cent loss on it. So be it. But that's how I started my morning off, at least. Now, while I'm at it, I may as well turn over to GNS because that's where I kind of transitioned over to next myself. So GNS, what the hell is this, right? This thing took a huge hit right at 8:30. So it was looking good. It was looking really good until it didn't, right? So just going into the pre-market, it was trending up, right? And not only that, but we've been following this GNS trade for the last month now at this point, for the last 3 or 4 weeks, really. And if anything, from what I personally recall on this stock trading it like a week or two ago, there was a huge level on this trade. It was almost like a doji pattern, essentially, right off of 710, 712. I know it's within 3 cents difference, but that's a pretty long up and down wick, respectively. I thought that was a key level. So the last few days after, it was, and I was kind of monitoring this trade over time. Well, this morning in pre-market, it was already holding over 710, that area, and it pulled back down after 8 o'clock, right there. And it led to a re-entry. It was an awesome entry off this 710. I mean, after I took the loss in sober, this was killing it for me, all the way up towards resistance at 740. And we were kind of identifying that as well inside our live trading room, at least, kind of looking at all of the big buying that came in off that 740 from pre-market early this morning. So it's to say, well, hey, if it could blast above that, then there is a real legit chance for this to fly. Well, it popped it, it dropped it. And that was a good time to take profits, but I did not. And it peeled back down, and I ended up getting out with like 10 cents profit on it, or 9 cents profit. I got at least some money on it. But what happened afterwards was unexpected. It goes to show why we have to take the money and run. If it's not going to make a big move on the way up, there's a pretty damn good chance it can make a big move just going the other way. So what the hell happened here? This was one of the nastier shakes that I've seen. Thankfully, I could say I was barely a part of it, but I mean, that could have been brutal. For as much as I was killing it on the stock earlier, this stock could have killed me. So what happened here? GNS Group or Genius Group shareholders approve a buyback, share consolidation, both executable within the next 12 months. So that's the headline from Benzinga Pro. Now, when I hear news of a buyback, that's not really bad news for a company. That really isn't. That's actually like kind of bullish sentiment to a degree. Now, are we going to see the bullish sentiment after? We had a nice retracement after the shake, but now at this point, it's trending down off the highs. So don't look to catch the falling knife, mind you, on this trade. However, I am extremely interested in this trade still. So I'm going to put this on our main list. If it ends up just bottoming out, or I'm sorry, if it ends up just kind of diving off right away when the market opens, then, I'll probably move on to something else at first. But otherwise, I want to see if support could build. And, we'll see what this could do afterwards. I would still keep in mind 7 and mainly 710 as a key level to watch. After that, 740. And then if it could blast that strongly, then maybe we can get a real run up higher. All right, so that was it from the gainer side, right? Pretty much everything else from the gainer side we wrapped up. Current time right now, 9:12, making good use of time here. All right, let's hop over to the losers list here, seeing if there's anything looking just as good, if not better. A lot of what made the gainers list yesterday, not surprising, made the losers list here today. So the Irene trade, the AMV trade down huge. I'm not looking for a dead cat bounce on that. Shopify down big. This could be off earnings. I didn't check Benzinga on this one. Let me just do that. I know they had the Deutsche Bank upgrade. They had the price target from 40 to 50. That was like a month ago or a couple weeks ago, whatever. A whole bunch of headlines right here. I got to weed through here. My apologies. It's definitely earnings. Yeah, earnings, their EPS beat the estimate and their sales beat the estimate. And why are they down? The company also guided revenue growth in the high teen percentages for Q1. It just says Shopify shares trading lower despite better than expected Q4 results. There's got to be more to it here. I mean, obviously the market dropped off this morning, but this thing's getting hammered either way. I mean, we don't need to be influenced by the news in order to take a trade on the stock. It's dropping off. This looks like a clean short. We're going to try and short this at first. If the markets bottom out, then we can try and look for a dead cat bounce perhaps, but follow the trend first. Do not fight the trend. All right, so Shopify looking good for right now either way, mainly as a short initially, though. DDOG, another, I guess you could say more name brand company at this point. Datadog ended up having a big drop, likely off of earnings as well. We already have a couple of expensive trades on there, so to say, between ROKU and Shop, so I'll pass on this. And folks, that might just about do it. I mean, there is more down percentage-wise, but I don't really see too many really good looking shorts outside of what we've discussed. CVNA is hard to borrow on my platform. If you can get the shares to short that doesn't look bad. QS, QuantumScape's down over 10%, had a big pop and drop, likely off of earnings yesterday. That could be a short should we see lower highs later on. Brian calling that out inside our live trading room right now too. All right. Folks, I think that we're just going to wrap up right now. That's all I got here. Let me see if there's anything lasting from Benzinga. That INZY is making a big pop, big blast over 3. That's exactly what we wanted to see. I mean, going into the open, let alone right now. So, this could be even a good time to take the money and run. Even with it popping here, you want to give the stock a chance to breathe, and you want to give yourself a chance to breathe. Remember that. So, with that, I'm going to take a water break before the market opens, catch my own breath. But otherwise, folks, for all of us on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, quick reminder, Fausto is going to be in Florida coming up today, tomorrow, and next week for our on-site class hosted in Jacksonville. There is still time if you want to grab a quick seat for all of our members inside the live trading room. Just make sure that you talk to your education advisor about that. I'd assume that would be more if you're local around the area. I know it'd be last-minute arrangements for that. But otherwise, I look forward to being down there myself and meeting a lot of our students for the first time. But though, I'll be tagging in for Fausto just for tomorrow for the morning meeting too, for all of us on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook Live. But as always, folks, I appreciate your participation as always. If you have any questions before joining our live trading room, feel free to shoot me a quick email. Josh at ctutrading.com is my handle. Any questions or trades you'd like to go over with me on the side, feel more than free to do so. Otherwise, if you're interested in taking the next steps, joining us inside our live trading room and continuing the audio commentary for today, for tomorrow, or for next week entirely, just go right down to the link on the green banner below the stream right there to get yourself set up, to get yourself started. But for Brian, Leda, John, Neil, Michael, and all of us just inside the live trading room right now, I look forward to talking to you folks coming up, just going into the market open. Take care.